Ain't no sign of stopping, I'm on pace. I can see them plotting, it ain't safe. She know that I got it on the way.
So guys, the world is absolutely freaking out right now. Global recession might be looming. We're dealing with this pandemic. I don't know if I can say it on YouTube. Whatever. Things are looking really scary, right? So since I'm quarantined and I'm pretty much locked in my apartment, had a little bit of extra free time. I wanted to do something for you guys to help you come out of this, because it will pass, it will be over, but I want to help you come out of this better off than you are now, which is why I've decided to create a 100% free mini course to put here on YouTube to show you guys exactly 3 different things. First, what is SMMA from a agency point, like the business model, how can it benefit you, why should you even care? Secondly, sales and how to get your first client. So I'm actually going to show you guys in ridiculous detail, step by step, how to get your first paying client, no free trials or anything like that. And then third, I'm going to show you guys what to do after you get your first client, how to keep them on board, how to scale, and how to do a couple of other things to help you make even more money. So guys, this business, if you know me personally, absolutely changed my life. And I think the skills I've learned from it can really help you guys as well. So welcome to this course. This is video number 1. This is more of a broad sense of what is SMMA, what is the business model, what is an agency business model, and how it can benefit you. So guys, without further ado, let's jump right in. We are here in my computer. I'm going to show you step by step everything that I know as quickly as I can while doing so on YouTube. So let's begin. If you guys don't know who I am or you're new to the channel, my name is Luke Alexander. I dropped out of college at 19 years old and started my social media marketing agency. I've had my first $20,000 month less than a year into my journey. I recently had the privilege of buying myself a new BMW, and I was also able to buy my mom a new car, all from my agency. So guys, if you don't know me personally, I come from absolutely nothing. I don't have money, or I didn't have money growing up. Didn't have any connections. I really had absolutely nothing. And just from this business model and the skills that I've acquired since then, I've been able to absolutely transform my life and the lives of my family as well. So here's a little bit of proof and context for you guys. On the left is my BMW actually parked at the bottom of my driveway. So I'm from the middle of absolutely nowhere. We live like in the woods. I couldn't even get the car up the driveway because it's so rough. That's my papa standing there. And then here on the right is my mom with her new car. She got in a little accident with the weather happening, bad weather here in the winter. So I had the privilege of buying her a new car so she didn't have to worry about that. But this isn't about me. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of context and we can jump right in. So here's a breakdown of what you're going to receive during this free course. So it's going to be 3 videos. The video you are in now is what is SMMA, the basics of SMMA and the principles behind the agency business model. The second video, which will be after this one, is how to get your first client. I'm talking real, tangible advice, tactics, and tips on how you can get your first client, how I got my first clients, and literally a plug and play method that you can just put into action and make things happen. And then third, scaling your success. What to do once you close your first client. How do you keep up the momentum? How do you take advantage of this new skill, this new business that you have, and how to keep it up? So what we learned in this video specifically, this is what we're going to break down over this next 30 minutes, 20 minutes, or whatever it is. This is the basics and principles. So it's important to lay a good foundation in order to be able to succeed with everything else. So starting off, like I said, what is SMMA? What is the business model and why should you learn it? Secondly, the difference between having an agency versus owning an agency. This is a really, really big thing, and I want to show you guys before you learn all about this and you get further ahead. And then third, what starting an agency looks like. How do you actually start legal, banking, and more? So what are the technical aspects of doing so? Do you need to file a company? Do you need to do this, that? I'm going to show you guys. So starting off, what is SMMA? What does this even mean? I'm sure you've heard it 100,000 times by now. and why should you care? So, SMMA is just a fancy acronym for social media marketing. We leverage social media to bring more customers and revenue to our clients. SMMA is just one variant of the larger agency business model. So guys, SMMA literally just stands for Social Media Marketing Agency. That is just one form of an agency. There are 100 different agencies, right? The agency is just a business model. It's a service-based business that leverages platforms and service, right? Skills, service, whatever. Anything that is valuable enough to be sold to a client or to a prospect that they get benefit from, that is what an agency is. So, the agency model of business. Guys, I absolutely love the agency model, obviously. That's why I got into it. I don't think there is much else that is as profitable as lean. And at the end of the day, you take home more top line profit than any other business. So this is the agency model of business. Like I said, an agency is a service-based business that leverages platforms and or systems to create a result for profit. So if you look at this graph or diagram, whatever that I created here on the right, at the very top of this, we have this character in green. This guy represents the client. The green is for money, obviously. Through the funnel and the system that you create with your business, that client then goes to your service providers, right? So for this example, let's say this is a Facebook ads agency. The blue people or the blue characters are your employees, your contractors, your team members. They're the ones that are actually delivering the results that you sold or what you sold to that client, right? So after the process goes through your service delivery, you're left with two things. You're left with profit for yourself and for your agency to keep, and then you're left with results, which is what your client is paying for. So this is the agency model of business, and this is sort of how the system works. For example, my agency leverages Facebook's ad platform to drive more sales to our clients' businesses. So guys, I work with mainly e-commerce and info product clients, and we leverage paid traffic such as Facebook, Google, whatever, and a little bit of sales funnels with a software called ClickFunnels in order to make our clients more revenue, get them more customers, and make them more money, which is why we get paid. There are web agencies, creative agencies, marketing agencies, and so on. Like I said, there's 100 different agencies, and it's up to you to choose what you want to do. The most important thing is picking one that best fits you. I'm very good at Facebook ads, and I love e-commerce, which is why my agency works with e-com and info product brands, like I said. If you're not good at Facebook ads, don't start a Facebook ads agency, right? If you're really creative, maybe you have some creative background as far as videography, photography, content creation, start a creative agency, right? You don't just have to do Facebook ads or whatever is hot. Pick something that you're good at and that you enjoy, and it'll make your job a lot easier. So guys, this is what the old agency business looks like. It is slow, it has large overhead, maybe a large office space, you have a lot of things to pay for, too many employees, you have a content manager, a head of client relations, a key coffee officer getter, right? So I'm just making things up at this point, but you get what I'm saying. Too many employees that just don't really serve a need, and it's just a excess expense. And clients pay a large retainer for low quality service. When you're a massive agency, a big conglomerate, your service isn't personal. You're not going to be able to get as good of results for somebody as a small, lean, specialized agency, which leads me into this. This is what the new breed agency looks like. It's lean, efficient, and it is a ridiculously well-optimized machine. Only a few highly specialized team members. For example, in my agency, currently, I only have one employee. And the reason for that, I really go out and sell. I need to get someone to build the funnels for me. Currently, I build most of the funnels, but it's because it's a very specialized skill. It's hard to find an employee for that. But my media buyer runs all of our paid traffic. I don't touch it at all. So he is a highly specialized team member, very good at what he does, and he helps me keep maximum profit within my agency. And then this new breed agency, the most important part is you're able to get fantastic client results. You specialize in one niche, you work with one kind of client, and you get the absolute best results for them possible. So This is what I'm talking about, the difference between being an agency versus owning an agency. This is a very big point and something that you need to understand. So guys, I created a little example here for you. This is Kyle. Kyle is an agency rather than owning one. Emphasis on that is. So guys, this is Kyle's agency model. This is what happens when he gets a client. This is how his work is done. And this is the result that comes from that. So number one, Kyle closes a client. That's awesome. Kyle just got himself a client. Maybe it's his first client. He's got some money coming in, whatever. Number two, Kyle spends the next week getting that client's ad accounts, email software, and any other systems that he needs to fulfill the service. So this takes a lot of time. It's not optimized. It's not automated. It doesn't look as professional. Then once that is complete, Kyle starts running ads for his new client. So after a week or two, the client still is paying for something they haven't even gotten yet. And then finally, he has everything he needs and he's able to start actually running the service that he was paid to do. At this point, a few months have passed and Kyle has spent 90% of his time on one client. So guys, it took a lot of time to get them onboarded. Kyle closed them. Kyle's fulfilling the ads himself. He doesn't have a team member. He's doing it all himself. And this one client has taken about 90% of his time over the last couple of months. Don't be like Kyle. So guys, do not be like Kyle, please. This is not how you run an agency. This is how you are basically a glorified freelancer and not an agency owner. And this is the difference. Thankfully, there's an alternative. This is Chad. So guys, you're about to love this example. This is Chad's agency model. Chad closes a client. Chad then sends that client through his automated onboarding process. Then Chad hands the client off to his team and his work is done. Chad kicks back, rips a jewel pod, and starts closing in more deals with all of his extra time. So what's the difference? More clients, better results, more money, happier clients, and more time. Because Chad is an owner and not basically a freelancer, he has contractors or team members to fulfill the service he sells. Basically, all Chad's job is to close the client, bring them into the agency, and then he's done. So all that extra time he has, because he's not running the ads himself, he has an automated onboarding process, everything in his business is systemized, he has all this extra time that he can then spend to go do what he does best, which is go get more clients, which is a direct ROI activity, meaning you're literally making money from this one activity and you can just keep doing that over and over. If you guys are just starting, I know some of this may sound confusing, right? I'm talking about onboarding already, systemization, I'm talking about contractors, team members, but it's important that you lay the foundation properly so that you understand what to expect and you're able to then understand what you need to do to get started. So starting off with the right goal in mind is extremely important. Guys, if you start off as thinking, I'm just going to get a client, I'm going to run Facebook ads, they're going to pay me, and then that's it. That is not how you do it. I started off doing that, and it really limited my ability to scale and cut my progress curve a lot. If I were smart and would have done things properly, I would have immediately gone and found team members. I would have immediately worked on my sales and only sales, because that's the only thing that makes you money until you get more advanced within your agency, obviously. And I would have delegated and systemized my business as soon as possible. So now that you know what an agency is, how to pick which agency you want, you know the proper idea of being an agency versus owning an agency, how do you actually start? So technically, you guys can start immediately. This is not legal advice. Keep that in mind. I'm not selling what to do. I'm not a legal expert, but from my experience, this is what I know. So you can start selling your services to clients as a sole proprietor, aka you will register your taxes or your income as yourself and not as your business. So guys, when you're immediately starting off, let's say you don't have an LLC filed or you're not a legal business entity, you can go sell your services to people still. Let's say you go sell Facebook ads to a dentist. They can pay you, but you have to report that income as yourself. So you're basically just using your social security number instead of like a tax EIN number through your business. But you will need a bank account so that you can be paid correctly. I use a payment processor called Stripe, but if you're underage, you can use something else. If you guys are underage, which is a very common thing, I almost started when I was under 18, but I got a little bit of a late start. But if you're underage, you can have a parent set up a bank account, work something out with a family member, a relative, whatever. Guys, if you want something, there are ways around it. Once you have a client or two, I would file an LLC so that you're legally separate from your company. This is just if you were to be sued. Being an LLC separates yourself from the business, so they can't take your personal assets and things like that. Also, tax purposes, being an LLC helps a lot. So, from a very basic standpoint, all you need to make money with social media marketing are the following. You'll need a laptop, a bank account, a payment processor, and your brain. Guys, this is really it. This is about all you need. I started off with just a laptop and a bank account and a payment processor, obviously, and my brain. But this is all you need. So technically, everything here is free except the laptop. You can get a cheap laptop from somewhere, a MacBook, a Chromebook, whatever, doesn't matter. When there's a will, there's a way, right? So I spent every last dollar I had coming out of high school on a nice laptop, which is actually the one here that I'm using still, instead of buying a car. And that decision has allowed me to build my entire business. I've made about $50,000 in less than, 6 months? 4 months, I don't know. But anyway, just from buying this laptop. So this is basically all you guys need. Ideally, you would like to have contracts and agreements and then some software to make your life easier, such as Loom, Canva, DocuSign, Slack, etc. So Loom is what I'm recording this with currently. It's just a screen recording software. And then Canva just helps you make graphics and things of that sort. DocuSign is a really easy way to send contracts to clients, get them signed automatically or electronically. And then Slack is what I use for team and client communication. And we'll get more into that later. But from a broad point of view, all you guys need is common sense. You need some sort of an agreement on paper so you don't get screwed over by a bad client and vice versa. This is not necessary at all. Guys, I started with absolutely nothing, but just some things to keep in mind. The next step, once you're ready, is to pick a target, aim, and fire. So guys, this video is just a very broad sense of what is the business model, what to expect, and just setting the foundation. So our next video in this free course is where the good stuff is. So you're going to learn how to pick a target, aim, and fire. And what I mean by that, pick a niche, find your ideal prospect, and fire away as far as outreach and trying to get your first client. So guys, please continue on to the next video, how to actually close your first client. I'm pulling back the curtain on my own agency, and I'm going to show you guys everything I did, everything I currently do, and what works the best in my opinion. So if you guys are ready, hop over to the next video. Hopefully I'll get these out back to back and it won't be a long timeline between them. But if you guys are still here, please take the time to like and subscribe this video. It really helps the channel a lot, helps me push out more content, and I hope this can help you guys come out of this, whatever you want to call it, that's going on globally, come out of this a lot better off than you were. So guys, that is the basics of what is social media marketing, what to expect, why you should even learn about the business model, and what agency type of business is. So the next video in this 3-part series is going to be the technical, tactical, and tangible information about how to actually get your first client, how I got my first clients, and what you can do immediately to go get your first client and start your own agency. So guys, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching this. Peace.